In this episode, we'll be talking about what disciple means, and we'll also explore what is even required in order to be a disciple of Jesus. Welcome to The Current Christian, where we give disciples the tools and tips they need to grow their ministry. If you've been looking for a channel to help you grow spiritually, mature relationally, or help you enhance your skills as a leader, then you've come to the right place. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. The words disciple and discipleship start to come up a lot as we begin to grow and mature as Christians. Some even use the word Christian and disciple synonymously, when in reality they are two completely separate things. The word disciple comes from the Greek word mathetes, which can be defined simply as learner or student. But the word mathetes is much richer than that. It really means someone who intentionally learns, observes, and obeys the instructions from a teacher. The word by itself has no spiritual connotation to it, but since the word disciple is used so often in the Bible, it has become recognized as a word that describes a follower and believer of Jesus. Here is a cool little fact. The word disciple is actually not found at all in the Old Testament. We first see the word in Matthew 5, verse 1, when Jesus first begins to give the Sermon on the Mount. Like I said earlier, a Christian and a disciple are not synonymous. Technically, a Christian is a disciple of Jesus, but a disciple does not necessarily mean that the person is a follower of Jesus. We see in John chapter 6, verse 66, at this point, many of his disciples turned away and deserted him. A thing that is pretty interesting, the word Christian is only used 2 times in the entire Bible, and 3 times depending on what translation you use. Early Christians never really identified as being Christian. The way they would label themselves was by saying they either followed Jesus or were disciples of Jesus. In fact, it's claimed that the word Christian was used to be a derogatory term that was meant to belittle the followers of Jesus. Now the word Christian is used commonly, whereas disciple is used far less often, which is sad. Early followers of Jesus were action takers. They didn't just label themselves as one thing and behave the opposite. They called themselves followers of Jesus because they literally followed Jesus. And they called themselves disciples of Jesus because they were intentionally learning, observing, and obeying Jesus. But now we see a lot of people identifying as Christian simply because their parents brought them up in church. Their identity is not linked to belief or action. It's based off of convenience. And when it comes to actually following Jesus, there is nothing convenient or simple about it. What are some things that a true Christian, a disciple of Jesus, would need to do? Well, we read it requires that we sacrifice our selfish desires. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me." We have to obey God. Not everyone who says to me, "Lord, Lord," will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only he who does the will of my Father in heaven. We need to imitate Jesus. Be imitators of me as I am of Christ. We need to not give up. You will be hated by all for my name's sake, but the one who endures to the end will be saved. All who desire to live a godly life in Christ Jesus will be persecuted. We need to stay connected to Jesus and his words. If you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish and it will be done for you. This is to my Father's glory, that you bear much fruit, proving yourselves to be my disciples. We need to seek first God's kingdom. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. Lastly, and most importantly, we need to love God and others. Jesus replied, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. A second is equally important. Love your neighbor as yourself." As you can see, following Jesus is certainly not an easy thing to do. But literally, thank God that we don't need to be perfect in order to follow Jesus. Jesus came not to call those who think they are righteous, but those who know they are sinners. If you're interested to learn even more about what it means to be a disciple of Jesus, I highly recommend you check out The Cost of Discipleship. This book will open your eyes to the truth about what is necessary to truly follow Jesus. The bulk of the book focuses on using the Sermon on the Mount and the gospel to motivate us to go further in Christ and live out a life that is worthy of what has been given to us. If you're interested in getting it for yourself, I've put a link in the description below so you can go check it out. Thank you for watching. I'd also like to thank our community of supporters over on Patreon. This video wouldn't be made possible without you. And if you really like this video, you too can join our crew of Patreon supporters by donating a few dollars a month to the Current Christian channel. Remember to hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon if you haven't done so already. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in our next video.